Hey, friends, and welcome to another episode of the Heat Press for Profit podcast. Thank you for tuning in. Here at Stahls, of course, all of our educational content, our podcasts, always aim to help decorators learn, connect, and reach their own success. Be sure to join the community over on our Heat Press for Profit Facebook group if you are not already a member. Thank you for tuning in here today. Of course, there is, wherever you're tuning in, whether it be Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, or over on YouTube on our Stahls TV or Transfer Express channels, you leave a comment and it comes here into the studio in real time. I see Victoria and Darren already commenting. And so good morning, good afternoon, wherever you're tuning in from. And today we're going to kind of break away from our typical podcast format and do a little bit of creative designing, right? So every single t-shirt starts with art, right? And so I want to make sure that you can utilize some free tools out on the internet that are going to help you be a little bit more efficient. And of course, time is money in any business, and being able to provide solutions to your customers in an efficient and timely way is always the best case scenario and going to be the most profitable for apparel decorators. I know I came into the industry from being a creative, a designer, went to school for graphic design. And that's how I always just fell in love with printing. Any way you could put ink on a substrate, I absolutely loved, right? So finding Easy View Online Designer, at first I was like, no, Illustrator is that's my bread and butter, right? I love some Adobe Illustrator. However, working with different clients, it happens a lot, and feel free to chime in if you've heard this example too, right? Is the customer says, I don't really know what I want. I'll know it when I see it. And being, a custom decorator, a creative, you're like, okay, cool. Let me try and throw my hat in the ring and see if I could solve this issue for my customer. But after you spend a few hours putting things together, and I ask that you actually charge for your time, right? You shouldn't be giving design time away for free unless you're rolling it into the price of the custom printing, or you're looking for that promotional kind of marketing expense, right? So you put some hours together, throw some comps together, and then your customer just sends you a screenshot from Pinterest or Instagram or Google Images and goes, I was actually thinking something a little bit more like this, right? Well, no, not cool. Because I would have really appreciated that image at the beginning if I knew what you were looking for, right? But now we've invested time already into this. And if you're charging that expense, it could start to balloon and sometimes even double the cost just for the creative, right? Than the custom printing. So Easy View Online Designer is a free tool. And like I said, I was like, Illustrator is my main bread and butter. But when somebody just asks for some simple artwork, or you need to make some changes on the fly and you're not near your computer that is powerful enough to run Illustrator or Photoshop, you have the capabilities to do this from just about anywhere. So it's a really impressive tool, not just for side hustlers or beginners, right? But everybody, including creatives, to be more efficient and more profitable with their time. So I'm going to dive in. We're going to do a ton of screen sharing. So if you are listening to the replay, wherever you listen to podcasts, of course, the Heat Press for Profit podcast is released every single week for you to listen to while you're driving in the car or while you're heat printing. But it might be worthwhile to pull this episode up on our Stahls TV YouTube channel. You just go over to the Lives tab when you hit Stahls TV, or the Transfer Express channel, and you could click on Live and watch along live here with me, because I'm going to show you some tips and tricks that can really benefit you regardless of the size and scale of your business. I've heard of even kind of larger shops that are ordering a lot of transfers using this as well to easily be able to quickly quote and save projects that they could just go and recall. Now, whether you're a large shop or just getting started, you could leverage this same exact technology. And the best part is that it is available to you for free right now. You don't have to pay extra for print ready artwork or anything like that. You save it in there, and then you could order your transfers from both Transfer Express and Stahls using, I wouldn't say the same program because they are on different websites. But it is essentially the same program. So whether you're used to ordering at Stahls.com or TransferExpress.com, you already have access to this feature. So buckle up and let's go for a little ride, and I'll show you exactly how to do it. Now, man, I see a whole bunch of people commenting in here. Valerie, and Humberto. What about Canva? So of course you could use Canva too, and we're going to use some, I'll show you how to take artwork from Canva or artwork from anywhere and import it into the EasyView Online Designer. Now, of course, to get those SVGs, the print ready, high resolution files from Canva, it is not a free program. So you will have to pay for that. So I want to show you how to use it using the tools that you could use for free. Because with any apparel decorator, I want to minimize all of your expenses, all of your overhead and your costs, right? Because when we minimize those costs, we can maximize our profits. And to be a growing, successful business, you need to be maximizing those profits. And so you can reinvest, right? In new equipment, new technology. Automation is a hot keyword too, right? And along with Canva, we're talking about AI here today because we can't talk about graphic design without the absolute innovation that is artificial intelligence, right? I was a kind of early adopter as a creative, like, let me test this stuff out. And it is an absolutely incredible tool in your toolbox. If you are still pushing hard back on AI is killing creativity, that is a losing battle, I'm going to say. I've heard people change their opinion and go, okay, I see the use case for it now. And while it's not, the text to vector stuff is still maybe coming along, the text to regular artwork that just with a program like EasyView Online Designer, you can make print ready in just a few steps. So I see Scotty saying I use EasyView for basically all my designs and sometimes a little help from AI. So we'll see that in a use case here today. And Carol tuning in from Central PA. It's so nice to have decorators here live with us, to be interactive, have some fun on a Friday morning, afternoon, or whenever you're listening to this too. And if you could take away one tip to help you use this designer that's going to help your business, what a great way to spend 20 minutes, right? Because I think it's going to be really impactful regardless of what your business looks like. So without further ado, I'm going to jump right in. As I'm jumping right in, if you're new to Stahls or new to Transfer Express, I'll introduce myself a little bit. My name is Dave, and I've been here with Stahls and Transfer Express for, I think, coming up on 5 years. But I've been in the apparel decorating industry for well over, let's say 15 years now at this point, learning how to screen print on my kitchen table, just trying to make t-shirts for my band, right? And it took me 3 weeks to be able to do it. And then flash forward maybe 10 years from that exact date, and I pull a screen print transfer for the first time and go, man, had I known about this 10 years ago, I could have made a lot more money. I could probably have a lot less gray hair, right? So much frustration, so much wasted time and energy. And don't get me wrong, still love the art of screen printing. But when I'm trying to be profitable, trying to maximize the use of my time, right? Be the most efficient, I am using EasyView Online Designer and goof-proof screen printed transfers or Ultra Color Max direct to film transfers. Tommy says, hello, first time seeing the podcast. What's the best for creating paint by number transfers? What a great question that I'll pull up here on screen. If you're going to paint by number on the transfers, we've actually seen this. I believe there's a blog post on it on the Transfer Express blog that was used for like t-shirts for a kind of coloring activity for a child's birthday party, right? So Ultra Color Max for those low pieces. If you have high quantity, you're definitely going to want to move to something more like a goof-proof screen printed transfer. So those are going to be the best transfers to use for those. So that's awesome. I have EasyView pulled up here. So this is what it looks like over on transferexpress.com. And let's see. The screen bigger, and it just keeps putting me back. So I think my face is just going to be here with you the entire time. But oh, hey, look, now it's just moving around. The layout's moving around on me. So perfect. So this is EasyView Online Designer, just to get acclimated with a little bit of the controls. Let's see if I could move me around because I want to show you some things here. Let's see. I can't do that. It's gonna hold me in here. Let's see what we could do because I do want to be able to show the bottom here of the screen. So just bear with me for 1 second, please. And I think I'm still here. Awesome. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you. And so here, just around EasyView Online Designer, we do have, am I away? My way, you still got sound. I see some people saying there's no sound, but I'm going to continue. Let me know if there is no sound. So Easy View Online Designer, we have our toolbar right here at the top. So these are going to be like object controls, align controls, arranging. So if you think about layers in Photoshop, right? You have your top layers, your bottom layers. You can move everything around. So that's your arranging. Your artboard is going to be the transfer size, right? So right now, bottom left-hand corner in our Easy View Online Designer session, we do have screen print and goof-proof transfer selected right here, right? So this is that Plastisol ink looks and feels just like a screen print without all of those messy inks, emulsion, the setup, the squeegees, the off contact, the ink viscosity, the curing, all of the extras, right? Transfer Express or Stahls with screen printed transfers, and Inktra, you could use that goof proof at Transfer Express, Inktra at Stahls. But you could use both of these transfer types to have that same soft retail finish with that matte print. It is Plastisol ink and looks like a soft hand screen print, right? But you could change all of that right here in the bottom corner. And that's important because if you want to compare different transfer types, you could actually select between them and be able to price it out, right? So you could see what's going to be the most cost-effective option with all of your settings in there. So you have quantity down here at the bottom, of course, the different sheet sizes or ordering by single image, depending on what transfer type you have selected. These are the 4 ways that you could order screen print goof-proof transfers, right? So we have all of this in here and ready to go. So let's start with some artwork, right? So whether you could draw a stick figure or not, right? Whether you are a Photoshop Pro or an Illustrator Pro or whatever you're doing, you could design artwork here. We have a whole staff of artists that go through and look at trends on Etsy, at Target, at Old Navy, what we see in retail shelves, what we see in streetwear, what we see trending currently, right? So you could just go to these promo layouts and you could see here, this is the newest artwork of what's come out. So we have some of these kind of like retro throwback, maybe like that vintage varsity or like college prep designs. Of course, some basketball stuff coming, holidays as we go. But look at all these layouts, right? So we could open these up and just clicking on them brings them in. And then everything's editable. So if I just wanted to take one of these, I could take one of these and move it off and use it for whatever else I want. Or if I want to just have this say Happy Holidays, I'm just going to select the text, go up here to the text bar and say Happy Holidays, right? And we're able to make that look crazy because it's in all caps, right? So let's just maybe say Happy Holidays. And that looks a lot better. Now, we even have the controls that a lot of online designers or those free graphic programs don't allow you to have, right? So we could adjust the letter spacing here. We could even go in and adjust the font if we wanted to, something a little bit thicker, something less thick. And if we don't like it, we could undo it, right? You could see all of these fonts in here. There's over 250 fonts to choose from. And if you say have that customer that has their specific font that you need to use, you could have always set it up in say Adobe Illustrator and then be able to just go ahead and import it in as a vector image, right? You just want to outline that text, but you can't upload like a font in here to be able to use it. But odds are there's going to be something that you're looking for, whether it be all of these different scripts or just some serifs, right? So, or sport blocks. You're just looking for that full narrow sport block for some names, or hey, I just want some curved text, right? In this font style is very, very popular and trending right now. So you can see all of these layouts in here, but let me show you the real customization aspects of this, right? So say you're designing for a school, they don't really know what they want. We could go into schools and just look at all of the bestsellers right here, right? So we could see the bestsellers or what was new and added for 2024. These are really easy too when you have those rosters, right? So you need to put all of those names in there. You could easily copy and paste the names and drop them right in, and you could change all of these mascots. So let's just go back to bestsellers. And let's just, before we click on one and get designing, you could see just how many layouts we have in here, right? From like sports and schools, from cheerleading and championship, right? So like all of these, like this is so trending. All of this kind of like vintage retro looks, right, are so popular right now. All of the extra logos to put up on top. So like, let's just open this one up, right? This looks like you would find it from Nike or Fanatics, but you could easily just go in here and customize this. If you want to take this champions and change it to say, right, like Panthers 2024, and we'll go here. We want to change this panther out. We could actually just click on replace clip art right here. Go to the clip art library, because just like all of those pre-designed layouts and templates that you could use, there's tons of clip art. So let's just type in panther and see what we have coming up. And sure enough, a whole bunch of panthers. I don't know why we kept some of the cardinals here at the top, but let's grab this panther, and it's going to import it in live in real time, right? So we're able to just put this in, scale it, change it, whatever we want. And we're going to go ahead and change this too. So let's keep Compton on it, but then say Panthers, right? And we could adjust our letter spacing to make it a little bit closer together, or we could change the font if we wanted to too. Let's say change it to something like that athletic script, or hey, I don't like it. Right here, we're not in the state of Michigan. Nothing against the state of Michigan other than they beat the Ohio State Buckeyes a couple weeks ago. That was unexpected, but let's just go into clip art, right? And I'm in Ohio, so let's go ahead and grab the shape of Ohio. And it just pulls in and replaces that. How easy is that? If we wanted to change this to say it's not football, it's basketball, you could see that we could do the same thing. Go in here and let's search basketball, right? So you could see all of these different layouts that we could pull in, and it makes designing so easy. Even changing colors. Say this school is going to be, they want a red shirt. We'll change our background color. We're just doing this here at the bottom, and then we'll change our ink color. Globally, we could update everything just right on over to white. If we wanted to introduce some different colors, like say it's that Buckeye color, right? As we're talking about the Ohio State Buckeyes, we could go in here and pull some grays in, or this cement, or even with our goof-proof screen printed transfers, you'll see all 70 plus standard ink colors right here, all the way down to the neons and metallics. So if we really want that silver, we could select that silver ink. So as we go through here too, at the bottom, I'm going to price this out. Let's say we need 48 of these, right? So it's going to tell me that it's $422 for anything I could fit on this sheet, right? So we're designing a gang sheet. If we needed to just do, say, like a single color, single image, this is all we need. This graphic is 11 by 10. Let's go over and price it as a single image too, right? So now this is the wrong size. So let me pick a 12 by 12 size and see what this one's going to price at. We have 48. We'll bump this up to the minimum quantity of 50, but now we're at $1 just for this image, right? So we've already reduced the pricing on our cost. So we could accurately quote our customers, because part of, I told you need to make money, right? That's the most important part of running a business, but we want to make sure that we're giving accurate quotes and we are able to figure in our profit margins. That's very important up front. So having this all set is great, because I could save this job right here at the top, put a name in. You could even create different folders for different customers, different clients, whatever you need to do. It's all available right here in the EasyView Online Designer. So you could save it and then save this quote. The customer, texts you at 7 p.m. and goes, hey, I just paid the invoice. Quote looks good. Let's get this rolling. You could order this from your phone by just logging in. All you need is an internet connected device. Or maybe you don't have a large budget to go buy a MacBook Pro right off the bat, right? You could run this on even a Chromebook. Those really light internet browsing machines that can't even run Photoshop or Illustrator or Corel Draw or anything like that, you could run EasyView Online Designer on it. So just look how easy it was to make this artwork. Another huge aspect is we could mock this up, right? So say we just click this mock-up button right here. They want to see what this is going to look like on one of the red next level 3600s, right? So there are some stock t-shirts in here that we could just click if you want something stylized. And of course, you could customize the watermark or just turn it off, right? So let's just pull this one right here and say that's exactly what this one would look like. Looks great. Cool. We could send it off. But if a customer wants to know exactly we could just click on all here and see this entire category. You could tell I was searching next level 3600 in there. But you want to see what those colorways are actually available here, right? So 3600, I'm just going to search that. We'll get down to the next level 3600. And it's going to pull up all of the real colorways that this garment is available in, right? So I could grab our artwork, size it up right here. And we said we wanted to make it like a red color. So we could see that we have cardinal. We have some of these maroons and maybe this mauve and then a red. So maybe this is what our customer is looking for, maybe something like this. But you could easily go through and see all of these. Wow. Okay. That one, cardinal, that's what I'm going with here. That one looks great. So we could size this to that approximate 12 by 12 range. I always go off the artwork collars or the collars of the t-shirt right here to here on a medium shirt is about 7.5 to 8 inches, right? So I'm going to add just a couple more inches if I know this is going to be that 11 or 12 inches wide. And I've been doing this for a little while. I could eyeball it. But say you just wanted to grab this, we could say, okay, if this is 8 inches here, let's add 3 more inches. So like 1, 2, 3 inches, right? So maybe that's what that 11 inches is going to look like. A nice full front t-shirt, right? And this is actually fairly misleading because we do see it flat too. So the side seams are going to be like right here. Whereas if we wanted to show it on that model view, right? If we do that 8 inches, so like 8 inches, 1, 2, 3, 4, up to maybe, that 11 or 12 inches wide. Here's what it would look like here on this model. Some of these model shots are a little bent and crooked, right? They're leaning off to one way or another, but you also have the back views of this flat view as well, right? So if we were doing a back print, we could put all this up here, and then we're actually able to just go ahead and download this right here, right? So we have a web use ready download image that we could use. So I got a few questions coming in, so I'm just going to take a break right in here. Let's see. Saw the tiny photo, thought this was going to be Dan's stream. It is not. It's Dave, but you could call me Dan. Everybody's called me Dan my entire life. Also asking, missed this. Is this to design online and buy one shirt or more? Is this to buy vinyl, buy a cutter, buy a heat press? So this is a design program to allow you to easily order direct to film transfers, right? So you could design and order direct to film transfers in any quantity, right? We aren't actually decorating anything completely using this program. You're going to be ordering a heat transfer to apply with a heat press. And then that's going to be how you're going to sell it to your customer. Or if you're a clothing brand, you could sell it to your brand too. So this is built for ordering, quoting, mocking up your orders that you'll be producing with heat transfers, right? Let's see. This is a great question Kevin asks too, and I want to address this if we have time near the end, right? I recently sent a picture for DTF at 300 DPI with UCM. It won't let me process as is. It shows some pink that I'm totally fine with. I don't want to pay for an artist to work on it. So I do know that like small elements, and I'll show you that here in just a minute, right, are going to light up and it would still allow you to order. Odds are it's throwing you a warning over on your left-hand side that's telling you what's wrong, and I'm going to bet it's soft edges. So like soft edges that fade out to the garment are a kind of hard stop that need to be fixed before ordering, right? It's going to produce a result that you're not going to like. It just does not look good in any use case scenario. So essentially, because DTF needs that white ink behind the actual colors, that if you have like colors that aren't going to be that full opacity, you're getting white behind it, which on any color garment is going to make it full opacity, right? So it's going to look sometimes clunky, blocky. You might have a halo around your entire image, which just doesn't look good, right? So, of course, our artist help is able to fix that, and I'll show you some ways that we could get around it here. And I know that that we're actively working on ways that we could improve the experience for everybody. So you don't have to pay that $26 art fee, because that $26 art fee does impact your profitability. And when your customer just sends you a file, you don't have the time to deal with it. You could pass that cost on to your customer. Hey, do you have a vector file of this? Because this file isn't print ready. There is an artwork setup fee of $26, or you could charge $30 and mark it up, or whatever you want to do to get your artwork print ready. I could take care of that for you, no problem, right? But I do need to charge you that extra fee, and then you pass that fee on, and it's out of your hands. You don't have to worry about doing anything, right? So I'll show you that here in just a little bit. X says, are you ordering the digital image? You are ordering transfers, right? You can take the digital image and then go ahead and show your customers that to be able to order customers. But yeah, yes, absolutely. So I see Carly behind the scenes going ahead and answering some chats too. But I'm going to stay back focused here. So we have our artwork designed up. So right here is where I would save it. Send the mock-ups off to our customer, get them to approve it. But you can see in just explaining this to you, I went from not even having an idea or a concept to a essentially print ready file, mocked up, already quoted with what our transfer cost will be. So you see how efficient that is to just be able to do so quickly, right? So regardless of what we're doing here in the design program, I'm just going to click new and start right up new, right? There are features and tutorials if you do want to learn more about all of how to use this over on the YouTube channel. There's like a 2-hour masterclass, or there's bite-sized little 2-minute videos that you could go through and see what, the duplicating tool or the ungrouping tool does, or even looking at any of these patterns that you could put into these. So I'm just going to show you here, like if we take this and say this is just going to be, let's just say transfers, right? So I'm just showing you here what we could do. So just where we drag and drop on the sides of our artwork to resize it, we could also just go here in the edit menu and say, I want this at 11 inches, and it's going to size it perfectly to 11 inches. Then just going in, adding any patterns or fills. You see a whole bunch in here, from tie-dyes to camo patterns and paisley, this outer space pattern that is full color, right? So if you want to add texture to any of this, you can. I'm just going to go ahead in here and add this. I know there's an athletic mesh texture down here that I will use. We'll go ahead and pull this in. So it gives it that kind of like athletic mesh. It works great on big numbers, big names. You're trying to get that jersey look on just a t-shirt. This is how you do it with one click, right? There's a whole bunch of them in here too, from like this micro perf to like a grid. There's this really cool hex pattern that you could get in here that does put some a little bit more fine detail in that. So you kind of have that like honeycomb. And with this, we could change the color, because now we could go in here and edit anything that we want in these colorways from Maze or anything here. I don't know why it's not updating for me right now. I do promise you that doing this live streaming while I'm designing, because it is an internet-based program, that it's going to be a lot faster for you when you aren't live streaming to the internet at the same time here. So let's go and back up, because I do want to show you how you could build your own artwork, right? So here, I'm just going to upload. So whether you're using one of the layouts or clip art or anything like that, right? So like that last layout that we did, we had the little eagle in there. Say if we wanted to add our own icon, right? So let's just shift this over to, say, our direct-to-film prints, right? One of the most popular. You could order by gang sheets, or you could order by the square inch, because I'm just going to do a single piece, right? You could order just one of these. So we could see right here, our pricing is $6.90 for just ordering this one image that we could customize, right? So I want to remove this eagle, and I want to put our own mascot in there for our team. They did send us a vector file of that, right? So I could just click on upload artwork, and it's going to go ahead and allow me to grab, say, this panther right here. So this is going to pull in, and because it's a vector format, I could actually recolor this. I could do anything I want to this file. So if I want that blue to be no ink, right? I'm now changing all of the colors in this file. So now we have this kind of like duotone, right? And we're putting this panther in here. Looks phenomenal. Looks great. I want to get rid of this text, right? I could just click delete, and the text is gone. I want to get rid of that white background and have that go to no ink too. Perfect. And let's go ahead and arrange it and throw it behind, right? Okay, don't like that. I could undo, or just pull it right back to the top. You see how easy this is with these vector programs. So the PDFs, the AI files, if you are using CorelDRAW, just export it as a PDF. Otherwise, there's going to be some issues importing it that I know the team's working on, but we don't need to, we don't want to change anything on your artwork, right? We want it to import exactly like how it is. So we talked about AI, right? AI becoming such a popular thing. And I think one of the comments at first was like a Grinch or a Christmas themed design. And of course we could go to AI, ask it to have it created for us. I wouldn't want to infringe on anybody's copyrights, right? So be careful about that. Even for personal use for somebody else could be commercial use for us. So ensure you have the licenses, or you are being safe about that. I am no lawyer nor legal expert, but I have seen plenty of TikTok horror stories and personal stories of people losing their businesses, even in some cases getting raided for printing essentially bootleg merch. So as apparel decorators, please, if you're running your own brand or selling on Etsy, be careful about that, because people have invested years and years into selling on Etsy for their stores just to be shut down because something looks like Mickey Mouse, right? And in many cases, they're like, it's not Mickey Mouse. You knew what you were doing. You knew what you were doing, right? Just be careful. Play it safe and be very, very good, right? So I do see a question here. So this is going to be right up the alley of what we're going to show, right? Next question. I am artistic and I use Photoshop. Can you import your entirely original graphic? And so, yes, you absolutely can. So that's kind of what we're going to do right here, right? So let me show you, right? So let's upload artwork. And so say this is some designs I was working on for a student athlete at a college, right? This is a PDF file that you could see right here for Ryan King. I could upload this and it's going to pull in absolutely print ready, right? So if it pulls in print ready, there we go. So it actually pulled in with the background, but no problem. It's all vector, right? I could just go up to object, ungroup, and let me grab this color and I'm just going to delete it. So now I have just our file. Now there is also blue, and I'm going to be printing this on this like, let's say a navy blue background, right? So we see this outline. I don't want that. I could just go in here, adjust this color to say no ink, and now I only have these two colors printing. If I wanted to make any changes to this layout, I absolutely could. Like if I wanted to just remove this 31 or move it around or make it bigger, you still have all of the same vector controls that you already did, right? So this same artwork, right? So if you're in Photoshop or Illustrator, of course, you can mock it up there. But here now, I could get pricing on this. I don't need this. Let's say this is going to go 9 inches wide, right? So now we're at 9 inches wide. This is going to cost $3 if I order just one of them with Ultra Color Max. And let's mock it up on a shirt, right? Let's use, let's see if there's any like crop tops. I think this would look sweet on a crop top. Here, the Next Level 5080. We don't have a navy color, but let's use like something like black here. We could turn that watermark off. And I do want the front view of this shirt. We're not going to be putting this one on the back. But just like this, now I'm mocking it up. I'm downloading it, right? With that file that the customer sent me or I designed myself in Illustrator. And this works both ways. We were talking about the... what were we talking about? The AI stuff, right? So as we upload files, let's do it the same way, right? So this was one that I just created in Bing a little bit earlier today. There's a nice little snow scene, but like this one, right? Fairly complicated. I just asked it to create a Bronco for me, right? Like just a off-road vehicle. So let's pull this in. I see this kind of vintage design being used so often these days, right? Couple it with some clean text and you're off to the races. So let's, pun intended there, right, too. So let's just go ahead and say keep original. But you can see that it tries to remove white in the background or all of the white in the image. I want to keep some of it. And just for not going in and selecting everything, that we could do this right here. So this is the image editor step. So we could actually like vectorize this, right? So full color is going to keep this image as is, which means it's keeping the resolution. Because I just screenshotted this off an AI program, which if you're wondering, I'm using Bing Image Creator, bing.com/create. It's free to use with a Microsoft account or any account on Microsoft. I will use Google through and through, but the AI model here on Bing is what I found to be one of the best free AI image tools available on the internet here today. So it is powered by, I believe, the DALL-E 3 or even DALL-E 4 model from OpenAI, which was one of the pioneers. And while it's not Mid-Journey, it is completely free, right? So I'm actually going to go here and select spot color on the dropdown in the image editor step. So what this is going to do is essentially live trace our artwork and quote unquote vectorize it. So now if you have those low resolution warnings and it's saying, hey, you need an artist fee, this is how you bypass it, right? And this is not necessarily like super simple artwork. There's a lot of paths. There's a lot of shapes in here. And so now we're here set to 4 colors. So I could say 3 colors. I like the quality of detail, so I don't need to go high or max, but I'm just going to click reprocess, right? And we're going to have this cut down now to 3 colors. I want to start removing elements. So all I have to do is click on it. So that background, gone, right? These little elements here, gone. I don't want to worry about too much because you could sit in here and click and stuff all day. But just like I showed you earlier, we could just change this little ink color to no ink and it goes away, right? So, but say I do want, I want to keep some of these elements in the car. Let's click these windows and just get these little windows away. So just like that, now we have maybe some more elements just down here in the body. If I was doing this, I'd take the time to go in there and clean it up. But even here, we're probably going to be okay. And a little bit of like texture or something on that. Hey, that's cool. I'm going to add this spot color version into our artwork, and it's going to import in at 8.58 inches. So if I just go here all the way through and have this analyzed with the artwork analyzer. You could see there are no pink areas lighting up anywhere. I could click order as is, approve as is, and order this for $3 right now and have this image at 8 inches wide. But I don't want to do that. I want to add some text to it, right? While AI is getting really great, you can't necessarily do text all that well, although it is a lot better than what it once was. And so you can see I'm just using some of the controls right here. And when we talk about those minimums, you have a reference point always right here. So because we have our Ultra Color Max selected, let's look at that minimum line weight for Ultra Color Max. And you'll see that we get this little blue bar. So we could zoom in and hold this up and make sure that all of it, there's nothing on here. That's not, even this small stuff down here is probably thick enough that it's not even lighting up. But you could always check as you're designing in there too. So back to our artwork right here. I'm just using my little zoom commands, or you could use this little hand to drag and drop around, or just hold control, right? The copy paste commands, control C, control V, right? And then so, oh man, I would love to make my pointer bigger. Humberto, that's a absolutely fantastic. We're going to figure out how to do that for maybe the next live stream here. So yeah, I imagine watching on a phone here too. It's a little small. We could get the highlighter on for next time. Great feedback. But so here, we are able to use all of the same keyboard shortcuts that you're used to. Command C, Command V on a Mac, right? We'll copy and paste. So if I just do this, I am just hitting Control C and Control V, and I've duplicated my artwork. But we don't need to do that. I said I wanted to add some text, right? So I'm just going to click Add Text. It's going to pop this in here, and we're just going to say off-road, but I'm going to make it 2 words, right? So off is going to be our first word. Now let's go find some fonts, right? I want something kind of simple. And nothing too flashy. So I do think something like full block is what we're going to want. But that is a little crazy. That's a little impactful. Now, of course, I am going to move this to the back so the little truck overlaps it. And I could click my color here, go down to my colors in use, and match that color that I'm already using. So you can see how easy this is. Now, say I just want this to be an outline, right? Let's go ahead and just add an outline to it. So I'm going to add an outline. You could adjust your thickness to make it as thick or as thin as you want. And then as we click back, I'm going to go here to the main color and say no ink. So now we just have an outline that I could go and recolor and have that be off, right? And I'm just going to copy and paste this, drag and drop, just move it right in here, and I'm going to type road. So you could adjust this text by just double clicking on it. Or you can type right up here in the top of the edit menu. So we're going to go back here to outline, and let me kind of get it up and match the thickness of this other outline, right? So boom. Now I have this graphic off-road. One cool feature too, because we are a little vintage right now on our designs, we could actually add distressing. There are 5 distressing patterns right in here, and just look at them. One click, they apply to the entire image. Say this text, we maybe have some fine text we don't want to have the texture, clear, right? And it clears the texture right off of that. I'm just going to hit undo and have it come back and show you some of these other distress textures that we have here from the rain, the splatter. Okay. Now we're in a nice little vintage design. We could look at this grunge, which really heavily distresses it. I wouldn't necessarily use that for something here with all of this fine line work, but like something crackled like this. Now, we just took an AI image. We just took some text in a couple of minutes, right? We've only been together here for about a half an hour already today, and we've done 4 or 5 different print-ready artworks mocked up and ready to go, have all the cost associated with it. Here, let's search and say we're going to be printing on a Bella Canvas 3001, right? So kind of the industry standard for really nice t-shirts. And let's find like a natural colorway. This is our natural colorway here. Is there one maybe a little bit more sand or sand dune, soft cream? I want something, yeah, something like that's going to be fine. Oh, is this like a vintage white? Yeah, right? So look how cool that looks, right? So we are able to just take this design and mock this up right here. There is no minimum quantity with our Ultra Color Max transfers that are right down here, of course, because we have our full color Ultra Color Max, which is what this is going to be locked to when you are on Stahls.com. Currently on Stahls.com, it's only available for the Ultra Color Max, but you can see here on Transfer Express that there are quite a few different options, from even puff, screen printed transfers, reflective, the glow in the dark, right? And for full color, you have the Ultra Color Pro for higher quantities, Ultra Color Max for those single images, or when you're printing on the Lycra or spandex, right? So let's just click that Ultra Color Max. We know our design here is currently set to 9 by 14 inches, right? And I'll go back up to just the square inch pricing. You could order by gang sheet, or we will gang sheet it for you if you want to order each individual image. And so just one of these is $7.86 for just one of them, right? So a nice question here is, how do you get the tool that shows the vector file and removing the pink lines? So that one you're going to get when you upload artwork right here. So let's say I am going to upload this little winter scene, right? So we'll go ahead and pull this winter scene in. And this is going to be when you upload any raster artwork. If you are uploading vector files, it just pops right in. It reads the colors, reads your artwork, everything pops right on in there. So like with this one, this is just AI artwork. So this is a raster image. So I believe it's probably a PNG format, JPEG, PNG, TIFF, PSD, anything like that, right? So here we have our full color import. All you have to do to get that vectorizer right here, spot color. So this is available both in the EasyView LTE designer and, of course, EasyView on transferexpress.com. So here you could see that we lost some of the detail in some of these stars. It's looking a little blocky. So, and we only have two colors, so white and blue. So I'm going to click two colors. I'll click image quality max, and hopefully I don't regret that because, again, I am streaming while I am using this. So just to be able to pull this in here, and bam. Now we have so much more detail here in the design, right? So we could add this spot color version right on in here. I don't want it distressed because that turns a little crazy. So I'm just going to go here and click clear, and it's only going to clear it off this image. If I want that background to get out of there, I could have clicked on it in that previous step, but I could just ungroup here always and just delete, right? So then I have all of our other stuff in the background. That's really hard to see. Let me make our background just a little bit darker. And we could see that great color that we had in our Ford Bronco right here too. So all this other blue, let's just get rid of it by clicking no ink. So we don't have to go in and delete every single one. And say now we want this little Christmas scene down here. Yep, sure thing, no problem. We could add it right into our artwork. Before we do get off here, I do want to show you just one more thing, because say that artwork that your customer sends you or you find online isn't exactly what you want, or they want changes and they say, oh yeah, well, my cousin Jeremy was able to put some designs. They built our logo. Let me get that logo. He knows how to use Photoshop. Spoiler alert, your cousin Jeremy doesn't know how to use Photoshop, right? So we're going to go ahead and click upload artwork one more time, right? Let's say it's this slice house graphic, which let me just cancel the upload. Let's see if I could see the resolution of this file. If I hover over it, it is 600 by 870 pixels, which if I were to print that would probably be about 2 inches. And so we want that big full front for this pizza place, right? So being able to upload this in, I'm going to do the same exact thing that we just did. Keeping original, I'm going to go down to our spot color uploader, and I am going to just remove this background to clean it up. And I'm cool with 2 colors. So let's just hit 2 colors, reprocess. I will have to delete that background one more time. Let's go 3 colors and reprocess. But you can see how quick this is, right? And adding this spot color version into our artboard. While we're waiting for it to load for us, let's change our background color to black. Hopefully it doesn't error out on us here, because like I did mention, we are streaming at the same time. I think it's still thinking here. So we'll give it one more minute. I'm going to check the chats here and see. Carol asks, Dave, are there any YouTube training on what you just did with the AI image? Absolutely, there is. We actually have a video detailing the entire process that you can watch over on the Transfer Express YouTube channel. Shows creating a AI image, being able to bring it back in. I think we do it for a car show, if I recall correctly. The video came out just a little bit earlier this summer. So I don't know what happened here to our image. So let's try. Oh, there it is. Of course, it pops right in when we need it to, so perfect timing. But here we could go ahead and even change the color. So say they want this to be more of like a golden. Cool. Now we got it. Yep, I'm hungry for pizza now. It's getting close to lunchtime. But now we could size this to any size we want. We want it to be 9 inches. Cool. We got it 9 inches ready to go. We want to format this for maybe a left chest print. If we were formatting this for a left chest print and maybe 4 inches wide, almost 6 inches high is going to be a gigantic print, right? So we could take this artwork that your customer's cousin Jeremy put together and be able to reformat this, right? Even though it was an uneditable program, right? Or uneditable file, right? Raster, we would have to retrace it, do all this stuff. Now I could select each one of these individual letters and just drag this on over. So we'll do the same thing here to our other word. So now we grab this, copy and paste it over. So I'm not destroying everything, but we could also go here and grab our little pizza slicer. I'm just going to hit object group, right? So if I move it around, I don't move one of these bones, because if I just click ungroup, yeah, we could lose one of these bones real quickly. I don't want that to happen. Nobody's losing their fingers today, right? Safety first, then teamwork. But what I'm going to do is go ahead and just turn this sideways. And now we have a variation of their original logo that if we took this whole thing, let me group it all back together, changed it back to that 3 or 4 inches wide, 3 by 2 would be a great left chest, right? And they say, hey, can we add our phone number to it too? You betcha, right? So let's make it a thick font. We're going to change it to the color that we already have in use, and 1888. Actually, let me go ahead and put these little dashes in here. 1888 555 1234. And we'll size this down to that 4 inches as well, and maybe even less than that to really kind of tuck it in there. But right here, now we mock this up. We could say, let's just mock it up on a plain black t-shirt. Here we have their logo ready to go, that left chest print. We'll size that up right there. We'll download this, send it on off, and say, hey, how does that look? So how is it going to impact you? How is it going to make you more profitable? How is it going to allow you to have these services unlocked, right? Because if you go over to Custom Ink or any other online printer, right? If people just searching custom t-shirts, right? They're not going to offer these services for free. And when you're doing this so quickly, it makes it so easy, right? So it makes it so absolutely easy to go in here. So I see Creative Coacher says, who knew Transfer Express had so many options, right? Tell me how often you add fonts to Stahls Transfer Express. I think it's been quite a little while since we added a new font, but the designers are working on new fonts getting up there as well. Of course, we need to use the free use ones. So all of the artwork here in the EasyView Online Designer, all of the fonts you could use royalty free. Any artwork that you create or upload in here stays saved to your account, so nobody else has access to it pretty much ever, right? So it is yours to keep, your customers, and you don't have to worry about anybody taking it. So it's not like it uploads to everybody's catalog right up in here, right? So you can see all of the stuff that we've saved in here, all of these different folders, creating new folders, and seeing all of the fun artwork that you could create, and just upload whatever you need to do in here. So we are getting a little pressed for time. So I'm going to answer just a couple more questions before we get off this podcast here today. And I really appreciate you tuning in, taking time out of your day to learn, right? And anything that helps you be more creative, anything that helps you take just little steps in efficiency, it really builds up, right? And getting started, right? If you have no idea how to start designing, this is a great place to start. You have the trending artwork. There is no risk, right? Your time investment into poking around in there, which you could do right now. If you don't already have a Transfer Express account, go create an account for free right now. It doesn't even ask for a credit card. So you don't even need to put a credit card on file to be able to use this program. Go create an account, get into EasyView Online Designer, start poking around, start playing around in AI programs, bringing it in, saving that t-shirt artwork out there, pricing it out with those different options that we showed you at the bottom of the screen, right? I want you to be equipped for success. And regardless if you're just starting out or a pro, right? It might seem overwhelming at first, but it absolutely just, if you just take the time, right, to just play around in there, 5 minutes later, you're going to be a pro, right? You're going to feel so much better. You're going to feel creative. You're going to feel like those capabilities that you thought like, man, I just don't have time to learn how to do this, unlocked now, right? And just taking 5 to 10 minutes on a lunch break, poking around in that designer, changing some things around. You could make inside neck labels, right? Put them on the extra space on the gang sheet so you could get them for free. You could group all the artwork together. If you want to build a DTF gang sheet, of course, upload all your files into there and build your own gang sheet that you could order your files, upload them individually, order them individually. You could do it all. EasyView is just so incredibly versatile. And when you're building your business, going from one customer and seeing another customer or another print shop that has thousands, right? It is, don't get discouraged. It's a long road, and you absolutely, you will make it there, right? It's like looking at the top of the mountain, that it looks daunting. Oh man, I'm never going to get there. But once you start focusing on each step up the mountain that you're taking, 6 months from now, even maybe a week from now, you look back behind you and you go, wow, I'm really high up, right? Not to the top yet. I still see the top, and I'm still going to be on my way there. You start gauging your progress there on those small, measurable goals, right? That you are in control of. It's not I want to make $2 million in revenue by the end of the year. Sure, very lofty goal that you could set up those small goals that you're in charge of to help set you up there. But I love the small goals. I am going to design 3 more shirts for my clothing brand this week. I'm in control of that goal, right? It doesn't rely on other people. I am going to post on social media 3 times a day. I'm in control of that goal, right? I am going to dedicate myself to learning about plastisol transfers this week because I have a bulk order coming up and I want the confidence. I'm going to get samples. I'm in control of that goal. And you see how all of that starts to contribute and really snowball. And then, yes, a week, 2 weeks, 6 months, a year, 2 years, and you look down and you go, hey, I'm at the top of the mountain now, right? And taking those small steps and focusing on things that you're in control of is going to help your business get there. But I'm going to tell you, I'm in your corner. I'm right behind you, right? Everybody here at Transfer Express and Stahls, from the front door to the press floor, is here, built and here to see your business succeed, right? We are here to support you in any way we can. We are not we're not about just heat transfers. We're not about heat presses, right? We are about helping your business grow and about you being in control of your own success. And anything we could do along the way, we are absolutely going to go out of our way to support you and ensure your success. But I see that the links made it in there. So we'll try to put the link to that video that we talked about with the AI in the description if you're following along and listening to this on a replay. But be sure to head on over to the YouTube channel to be able to see any of those the live recording of this so you could follow along with us. And there's tons of other training on there as well. But before we sign off here today, I do want to thank you for tuning in to the Heat Press for Profit podcast. I know I had a blast here this afternoon, and I hope you learned something. If you were able to take away just one thing that you could put into practice this weekend or next week or today, right? That fulfills my purpose for today, right? I'm here to help you out. And of course, here at Stahls, we are happy to help decorators of any size learn, connect, and reach their own success. If you haven't already checked out the Heat Press for Profit Facebook group or the Easy Prints Decorators group over on Facebook, join those communities. It is filled with like-minded, creative, and passionate entrepreneurs just like you that are more than willing to help out. There is no gatekeeping over there, right? And be sure to check out Stahls.com as well as TransferExpress.com for all of the heat transfers we talked about today. Of course, the EasyView Online Designer that we talked about today, and all of the other decorating solutions, from heat presses and equipment to accessories, platens, and of course, even blank apparel. If you don't have a tax ID, you don't have to get set up with a reseller account or a business license. You could order wholesale apparel at bulk rates from TransferExpress.com, essentially just as you're ordering transfers, right? So your one-stop shop for everything you need for business success. And of course, all of the content and education that we are happy to produce every single week that help your business grow. But until next time, it was so great hanging out with you, and I'll see you around. Happy pressing.